wall.
And we're live, 5x5. Just blends in. It does, doesn't it? That's why I wear this, just so you can see the difference between my head and the wall behind me. I need a green screen. That's what I need. Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Do I sound all right?
Yeah, you sound alright.
I might. Yeah, you sound all right. It's nothing special.
Yeah, that's
Screw,
it.
screw you, really.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've got my notes. I've got my trivia. I have my pen and paper. I have musical queued up. I have the structure. I have Jeremy. I am recording the video already. Hi.
Alright.
I am not recording audio yet. Are you ready to do a clap?
I'm not recording audio yet either.
Okay. Shall we
Okay,
start?
ready?
Are you ready? Right.
Yeah.
I want you to smile all the way through this episode. Yes, just like that. Your pretty, pretty smile.
I don't want to do that.
Yee. All right,
Why do I have to smile?
Smile internally because it changes the way your voice sounds.
Ha.
It does. It genuinely does.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, is that you being amused?
We're clapping.
No, I haven't even started recording yet.
Oh, I'm already doing it.
Okay, I am now. Yep, we have audio. Okay, 3, 2, 1, clap.
Damn it.
3, 2, 1, clap. No, what you did? Why am I going 3, 2, 1 and then you're going?
Clap on one.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
I said clap on one.
There was one.
Okay, let's go. Okay.
Again?
3. Yeah.
You can.
3, 2, 1. That's way worse.
That was spot on. What are you talking about?
Was it spot on for you? It wasn't for me.
It was bang on. Oh, that's
Oh,
okay.
well.
I've got Jennifer shouting in the background now. We're recording. Voice from the outer studio. Woo.
Mm-hmm.
Right, do we need to clap again?
No,
we
that's
happy
fine.
clappers. Right, you can sort it out. Okay, are you ready?
Yep. I don't have to do anything.
Why didn't I write any of this down? Hang on. Oh crap, I didn't write down what episode we did. Look at all the sound noise you're going to have to delete out. It was Worzel Gummidge. God awful TV show.
There was a 5 in it. I remember that.
Wasn't that one? It was. Right, it was season 2, episode 6. Worzel in the limelight. Okay, that's all I need.
Season 2.
This has a 8.5 rating on IMDb.
Okay.
Okay. All right then. Right. Tra-la-la-la. Are you ready, Jeremy?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to start. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Serial Viewing, the podcast that will take you back in time to look at children's TV shows that you may still love, may have forgotten, or you may have never heard of. We're going to find out if they are as good or bad as we remember. They are generally bad. With me, as always, is Jeremy. Hello, Jeremy.
Hello.
Oh, we have a treat this week, don't we?
Yes. I was gonna say something similar.
Right, if you aren't aware, this week we watched season 2, episode 6 of Worzel Gummidge, titled Worzel in the Limelight. I'm just going to get this out of the way at the top. This got an 8.5 rating on IMDb, and I can't explain that.
I'm sure there are people out there who like Worzel Gummidge.
There must be. If you don't know, Worzel Gummidge is a television series about a scarecrow that comes alive on Scatterbrook Farm and makes friends with the two children and hits his adventures. Adventures, if you can't see me, I'm making bunny quotes, around the village.
Yeah.
It's as exciting as that.
Yeah, so it's not a cartoon this week. It's live action.
It is live action.
And whew, where do we begin?
Hang on. We're going to have to start again.
Why?
Because
I didn't feel like you were feeling that one either.
oh,
Okay, well, I'm going to start the audio again.
absolute bellend. Yes, me too. Let me stop it. Get rid of it.
That was 5 minutes of audio.
Okay,
we don't need.
just to prove how much of an idiot I am.
Did you do the same thing that you did before?
No, this time I usually have all the information up about what we've watched and the episode, and I've got this little blurb with some details in there. And I had scrolled down to look at the trivia, and I got really massively confused because I'm like, where is all my information? Yes, because I scrolled down and I'm an idiot and I forgot to scroll back up again. Professional. It was this show. They can't hear us. We've stopped recording. Okay, the audio. This is just for you, people watching this. This is so fucking bad. It has messed with my mind.
It's fantastic.
Sorry, I mean it's amazing, is what it is.
It's pure quality content. Think anything unoriginal here?
Yes. Right. Okay.
So
I have started
record.
audio again.
Me too. Okay, we're gonna clap.
On 1.
Yep.
Go.
3, 2, 1. Okay, it's perfect for me. So that's
Whatever.
important.
That's fine then.
Needs to be good on my end.
Okay. And let me just cue up the music again because I got rid of that as well. Okay. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to Serial Viewing. This is the podcast that will take you back in time to look at children's TV shows that you may still love, may have forgotten, or may have never heard of. We're going to find out if they're as good or bad as we remember. It's trending bad, generally.
So far.
Yes. This week we are going to be watching, or we did watch, Worzel Gummidge from 1979. We watched season 2, episode 6. If you'd like to check it out, Worzel in the Limelight. It is on YouTube. There's not many actually on YouTube. Lots of clips, and this got an 8.5 rating on IMDb. It's not the highest rated one, but it is. There are higher, but this is an 8.5 rating, and I don't know why.
Neither do I, personally.
Worzel Gummidge is a scarecrow that has come to life on Scatterbrook Farm. Worzel stands in the 10-acre field. He's befriended John and Susan, who came to stay during the school holidays on the Braithwaite's farm. Worzel normally lands John and Susan in trouble when he is being mischievous, as he goes into a sulk and becomes a normal, lifeless scarecrow. This leads others to blame the two children for the trouble he causes, starring the very famous John Pertwee and Una Stubbs. And in this episode, Worzel and Aunt Sally decide to enter the local talent contest, and hijinks ensue. It originally ran from 1979 to 1981 for 4 series, totaling 30 episodes and a Christmas special. 25 minutes per episode of goodness.
Worzel Gummidge.
Now, I'm fairly certain you've never seen this before, is that correct?
I'd never heard of it in my life before you mentioned it.
Okay, so if I'd have just before you'd watched it before, if I'd have just said, right, we're going to watch something called Worzel Gummidge, what does that bring to mind?
I probably would have thought of something like a worm. If you'd have told me it was a kids program,
Yep.
Then a worm, maybe with an apple, something like the Hungry Caterpillar.
Not a live action
Thing starring John Pertwee.
Monstrosity. Now, we're going to get into this later, but this was a passion project for John Pertwee. If you don't know who John Pertwee is, he was one of the doctors. He very famous in England.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know. Just don't know.
Yeah, the first thing I wrote down when we started watching this is John Pertwee is creepy now.
Yes, ditto. That was the first. So very brief credits, very brief opening music, and then it goes right into on a 5 seconds in, and you've got this butt ugly, leering mask, grinning at you. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm. That man, he is like you said, a beloved actor, but this, what was this?
Now, I know I watched this when I was younger. I know I did. I vaguely remember the opening music. I vaguely remembered not liking it. But beyond that, I couldn't really remember anything. So I was going into this not cold, but let's say lukewarm. And it was an experience.
Yes, I remember you saying you just remember your insane distaste for this.
Yes, yes. Which is one of the reasons I was so desperate to do it, because I wanted to rewatch it again and see if it was there. So Worzel, as I said, Worzel is a scarecrow, and he can literally remove his head and change it for another head that does something different. So if he needs a music head, or as in this episode, he needs a clown head, or a magician head, he just pulls it off. Brilliant. Let's just take that off. So you've got a supernatural freak hanging out in a field.
I don't know. I think that was a little bit harsh. I think it's okay for him. That's a kid's sort of joke.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It is logical. I can get it. Okay, ha ha ha. Wish I had a different head so I could do this or whatever. So and he wanders around. He's the main character, and then you've got John and Susan. John was the boy. He's the younger of the two, and throughout the entire episode, he just seems to be there.
Yeah,
he's just kind of hanging around, being a gobby little shit.
Well, he wasn't there until half the episode, and he was apparently just watching TV through the whole thing.
Yes, back in the 70s, their dad even said, "If you don't stop watching it, I'm going to return it to the rental shop." Back when renting your TV was a completely normal thing.
Crazy.
Yeah. So we've got Worzel, and we've got his girlfriend, or potential girlfriend.
It's the other person. It's a bit strange.
Yeah, well, it wasn't explained in the episode, but I believe she was carved for a merry-go-round.
Right.
So she's not a scarecrow, but she's not real.
Yes,
and again,
she's another one of
I'm guarantee you never. They were both created by the Crowman.
The Crowman?
The Crowman, who magics them alive. And it's never explained why.
Well, why he magics them alive?
Yeah, why he did this. He does show
up scary.
He does show up in a few... I know! I wrote down quite late in the episode that if you repackage the whole thing with the Scarecrow, with a couple of kids, lonely farm, a village with like 10 people in it who are never on the streets during the day and never see a scarecrow wandering around. Reboots. And then Aunt Sally, who is this made-up freakish doll thing, you could easily reboot this as a straight-up horror movie or a horror show.
Yeah,
Horror show.
it's a lot of similar traits to something like what is the one that came up recently? Something like Untold Stories.
Yes.
Can't remember what it's called, but something like that. Oh. And still star John Pertwee in it.
All right, I'm sure it's come across already. I cannot stand this show. There are no redeeming features for this show for me. It's horrific. But looking at the ratings on IMDb, all of the shows are fairly highly rated. And I was looking around the internet and I was doing a bit of research, and it all has this very warm appeal to it. It's widely loved. So, and I'm fairly certain you heard me do this today. Today, I actually called my mother and my stepfather, and without telling them why, I asked them questions about Worzel Gummidge. I was very neutral. I was very positive. So I was like, just to find out, do you remember this show? Did you used to watch it? Did you like it? Do you remember it being well loved? Remember, this is back in, the episode we watched was 1980, but it started in 79. And they both said, yes, they remember it. Yes, they used to watch it. And they remember it being really popular.
Right.
And even taking into account it was a different time, I don't know why.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there wasn't as much television on, but that's inexcusable.
Okay, I can see. Right, I said it's got no redeeming features. I can understand. There is a point where Aunt Sally, and we're going to get onto her, Aunt Sally chases Worzel around, and it happens off the screen, but it's indicated that she stabs him with a hay baler, a fork, and he comes on, drinks some water, and the water pops out. Now, in 1970, I can see that being funny for young kids. I mean,
I can see that being funny for British
kids. I can see it being funny for young kids now. But perhaps I've just seen that joke too much. It wasn't funny. In fact, I found nothing funny about the entire episode.
I think that bit I had a tiny chuckle at. I obviously, being someone who's never watched it before, I didn't hate it as much as you did going into it.
All right, yeah, I was going into it with it's Worzel Gummidge, but it's not funny. It drags. I love John Pertwee, but he's just creepy, and the voice he puts on is just and oh my god, 25 minutes long. This episode, and it was 20 minutes too long. It just dragged and dragged.
It really, really did. Honestly, I remember getting through halfway. We probably weren't even halfway through, and I was like, "Okay, so A, what's the whole story in this episode?
Yeah.
And B, why am I still watching this?"
Oh yeah, if it wasn't,
I want it to be over.
If we weren't watching it for this, I would have turned off within 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It was bad.
It was. I could see how it would be good for children in nursery.
So very young children
who don't really understand what they're saying, but he acts all funny, and his name sounds funny, and she acts really mean.
He is supposed to be quite innocent, and he comes across as if I was being uncharitable, he came across as someone with learning difficulties, but that's not how he is. He's comes across as a really young child. He doesn't understand the world. He doesn't understand money. There's a part in the money because what they're doing is they're doing this talent show so they can win £10, 10 whole pounds,
which is a lot of money.
Which was it was a lot of money. I was quite surprised for a small village talent show. Aunt Sally he says, right, we've got money. How much is that between the two of us? And Aunt Sally goes, well, that's £3 for you. And he goes, yeah, brilliant. I've got £3. I'll have £3. And so it's that very simple, very childlike. And I can see how that would appeal, because kids would look at that and go, all right,
I get that.
it's dumb. I don't like it.
Yeah, he's very naive is the best term.
Yes, he is.
He's incredibly naive and slightly stupid.
Talking about the money, I even made an note. So why does a scarecrow and whatever she is, why do they want money? What are they going to do with it? I mean, he is obsessed. Right, I'm getting ahead of myself here. We need to talk about Aunt Sally.
Okay.
Aunt Sally is Wurzel's love interest. He is besotted
At points, right? Okay. At points, I felt as a first-time viewer. Apparently, she is a recurring love interest throughout the entire.
She's in almost every episode.
Yeah, but there were one or two moments where I thought that, and the rest of it, I don't know what they would have been. If they're writing her as a love interest, then they're doing a really piss poor job.
I mean, he is obsessed with her. He wants to marry her because he loves her.
Because he's a child.
Because he's a child, and he loves her, and he wants to marry her, but he doesn't quite understand marriage. And she doesn't like him. Now,
not in the slightest.
If you'd have asked me before I watched this what their relationship was, I would have said they're friends. They're even in a relationship. They're friends. She hates him. She is an utter bitch. She's a completely off-the-top psycho. I mean, this is less a children's show and more a study in an abusive relationship.
Yeah. It is 100% abusive in this situation.
She wants to kill him.
She swindles him. She lies to him. She takes advantage of him. She does want to kill him. Yeah.
I was a little shocked.
Mm-hmm.
But saying all that, she does have excellent teeth.
She does have excellent.
She grins all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was shocked, and I wasn't entirely sure that it was appropriate for a kids' TV show. I mean, she's awful, and I never came away with that impression when I was younger.
There was even a point where it was somewhere near the intro where they were talking about how much money they had and how she said they had problems or something. It wasn't like in general about the relationship, but she said she had a problem with him or she didn't like him or something. And then he said, if we get the money, then essentially on the Worzel speech, but if we get the money, then we can get married and our problems will go away.
Yeah.
And I wrote that down as, I don't think this is a good message to send to kids that marriage solves the issues in a relationship, especially with something that abusive.
So, jump towards the end of the episode. They manage to win, and they get their £10. Yes. And he's all like, right, I've got my £3. I've got my half, my £3. We'll walk along. Let's go. Right, I think we've got time. Let's go now. And she's like, go where? To get married. And she's like, oh no, £10 is, we can't get married on £10. That won't be enough. We need at least £15. And he goes, is that more? Yes, that's more. And he's like, well, will you look after my £3?
Yeah.
And he gives her the £3 back, and she swipes it out of his hands. Of course I will. And then she legs it off, and the next time you see her, she's in a shop, and they're taking a dress out the window with £10 written on it, and she's spending the money. And he stands there and looks at her and goes, oh.
And he just cries and walks off.
He cries and walks off. Dude, she's just walk on. You're a scarecrow and you can do better.
I mean, unless there's some deep underlining, like, message to kids is like, if you're being abused, talk to someone about it. Talk to someone about it, and don't be a Worzel. Like the whole episode, this is the only thing I took away from the episode. Like they had a talent competition. They were trying to figure out what they were going to do for the talent competition. I didn't really care. But what I was most interested in was how it went from an abusive relationship. And all I want to do is, like, I really hated Worzel in the beginning. He was so annoying. Yep. And then as it went along, I was like, I feel so sorry for him. I feel like none of it is his fault, but it does again make me feel like he's kind of pathetic for it.
He is pathetic.
Yeah, it's sorry. You feel like you feel sorry for a fat guy on a mobility scooter who doesn't need to be on a mobility scooter.
So we mentioned John, the young boy John. He was just kind of in the episode. He was just there.
Mhm.
He wasn't doing anything. Susan was she just kind of appeared once they started trying to think about an idea, and she was there, and she didn't really have much to do. They did. Kids, it may be different in other episodes, but the kids didn't have anything to do in this episode. What I did find funny is the dad shows up and he wants to enter the talent show competition, and he goes and sees his son. He's like, "Oh, you're still watching that? Get off that!" And the kid's just laying on his bed or whatever it was, and he goes, "Yeah, very teenager, like, yep, whatever,"
Yeah.
and just kind of dismisses his father. And then, admittedly, he's playing this country and western song, and he's obviously dubbing. It's obviously really badly dubbed, but
Yeah.
he's twanging away up there, and the kids are just like, "Oh, you're such a loser."
Mhm.
His children had zero respect for him. How did you do?
Yeah, they did.
How he comes off stage. Oh, how did I do? Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
Gee, oh my gosh! It's yeah, you did great, Dad. Encourage it.
It was a
Yeah.
good effort.
Shut up, Father. My friend
Yeah.
the Scarecrow's coming on.
He's gonna come on and they're gonna have a fight with ballets and oh.
Here, did you spot? I know, I'm fairly sure you did. Did you spot the thing in the show that just would not happen in 2020?
Oh yes, the minstrel.
The minstrel, the chap in blackface.
Yes.
Yes, he was literally. If you don't know what a minstrel is, I'm not the guy with the lute, but a minstrel.
Mhm,
From Britain, look it up. That's
mhm.
what they were trying to do. It has been rightly pointed out that it is massively offensive.
It was originally Dutch, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I think so,
I
but
genuinely don't know.
it was the pre version of blackface. I think it was mirroring minstrel more than blackface,
But it was.
but as the
I was.
minstrel, as in the sort of the paper view as a performance.
I was a
But
little. I was shocked to see it. I was really
yeah,
surprised to see it. It came on. Like, oh my god! Look at that! You can't
not
do
the sort of
that.
thing you sort of see in a children's program.
And I had to remind myself this is 1980,
Yeah,
just
but
out of the
still.
70s, and it's things are. Yeah, I was a little shocked. Like that.
Hmm. Yes. But overall, I I'm starting to develop this theory that the reason why British audiences enjoyed it so much might be because it feels like your local pantomime.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The whole episode feels like it could be like you'd go down to the local village hall or local theatre and try to watch this as a different parts pantomime.
It was actually, yeah. I'll agree with that. It was a very accurate representation of a village hall, and then a
That's
village
it.
just getting around to do a talent show.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was
It
pretty
seems
good.
like they had a bigger budget than most villages, though.
Yes, and everyone was taking it a lot more seriously, and even the people in the audience were wearing suits and ties
Well,
and
they were
dressing up.
judges and they were giving away £10. I mean, this is big stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody seemed to care a lot about it.
Although when I spoke to my parents earlier about the show, my mother did point out that yes, it was a well-loved show, but that was
Hmm.
back in the days when England only had 3 channels.
Hmm.
So if you were lucky enough to have a TV, what else are you going to watch? You've literally got
Precisely.
a captive audience.
Precisely. And what was this ITV?
This was ITV, yes.
Yeah. So the alternate was on the news.
BBC or BBC Two. Yeah, could have been. It would probably been light entertainment, maybe the news. I don't know what it was up against. I might look that up actually.
Well, it probably would have been placed on a Saturday.
Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
More like, yeah, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, or say Sunday morning, Sunday
But
afternoon.
it's
I
just
don't
a
know.
bit interesting how, like, there are similar sorts of style shows that are still being broadcast on British channels such as CBBC, which is the main sort of, I don't know, how would you range that, a 10 to 15-year-olds channel.
Yeah.
It's run by the BBC as well, and um, it's kind of what's evolved from this. But there are a lot of shows on that I remember watching that was a similar style to this, very, very silly, but live action and lots of strange stuff happening. And I hated those when I was growing up. So I see this, but how this is still kind of relevant is interesting.
Well, I mean, as much as we're slating it, it was obviously popular. It doesn't
Yeah.
run for 4 series, and then gets picked up for another 2 series
Mm.
later on. It's actually moved. There was a 6-year gap between the end of Worzel Gummidge, and then you then got Worzel Gummidge Down Under.
Yeah, I read it. Well, I didn't read anything, but I looked it up.
Yeah,
How
which
long
is
Worzel Gummidge ran for, and there was a second series.
it's
And I was
essentially the same show but set in New Zealand, and that ran for another 2 seasons between 1987 and 1989. And it
it's not
only
often, yeah, shows set in New Zealand. Yeah.
and it only the series finished originally after the original run. It only finished because Southern Television, who were producing it, lost the franchise to it.
Oh,
And it even I read a quote from John Pertwee was utterly bemused why no other company would take it up because it was a rating success. It's very
I'm just confused about this whole scenario.
and in fact, it was very popular. It took the two guys that originally wrote it, Keith Waterhouse and Willis Hall.
Mm.
They intended to make it as a movie and wrote a script around that. John Pertwee signed on to do it as a movie originally. They couldn't raise any money to do anything with, so Pertwee suggested that they write a pilot for TV, and everyone turned it down. BBC, Thames Television, all the other productions, they turned it down until it got to Southern Television, who picked it up, and bosh, off it goes.
Right.
Did you know this is based on a series of books?
Given that I'd never heard of the TV show, no.
Yeah. There was a series of 10 books written by a lady called Barbara Eufen Todd. 10 books, and she wrote them between 1936 and 1963.
Right.
She wrote other stuff. She published poetry, and she wrote non-fiction books with her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the books, it's pretty much the same. You've got John and Susan, and he lives in the same village and on the same farm. But in the books, he's married to someone called Earthy Mangold.
Right.
And Aunt Sally I think she's only mentioned once, maybe twice, as a character. She's a bully. So the character translated in the TV show, they just got rid of Wurzel's wife. It was
replaced her with the bully. This is
yeah. It was first featured in Children's Hour, which was a radio show before World War II. Children's Hour was aimed at children, and this wasn't the first time. John Pertwee wasn't the first person to play Gummidge on TV. In 1953, there was a 4-part series called Worzel Gummidge Turns Detective. And that's all I know about that. I couldn't. Well, I know there's stuff out there. In July 1967, it was featured on a children's TV show called Jackanory TV.
Yeah,
Have you ever heard of Jackanory?
I've heard of Jackanory.
It's basically where they read stories to children.
Yeah.
And they did 5 Worzel Gummidge books as part of that in 67, and then they repeated it again in 1974. So it was a franchise. It was a full thing. So they had radio shows, they had been on TV, been read before, they had a TV show. So somebody was always just looking to bring this to TV for reasons unknown. And did you know this was rebooted recently?
I also saw that
Did you
briefly.
see that picture?
Yeah, I did. I don't know which picture you're on about, but I did see the promo picture
Yeah.
for it.
In
Yeah.
2019, it was turned into a miniseries with Mackenzie Crook. Now, Mackenzie Crook is one of the pirates with the wooden eye in Pirates of the Caribbean,
Right.
and he's also in The Office.
Yes.
Um, I'm going to post this. I'll put this up on our Instagram and Twitter accounts. But there is a picture of him that somehow looks more terrifying than the original John Pertwee
I kind
one.
of want to see this now.
He looks like Freddy Krueger. He's got He looks like he's got melted skin, and he's got these weird things growing out of his chin, just like me.
Oh,
It was hideous. So I'll put that up on Instagram and
oh,
Twitter. Have you found it?
and they thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, and apparently it was really well received. Ugh. I don't know. I'm beginning to think there's something wrong with me rather than everyone else because I don't want to see it.
I don't think so.
I mean, I did find a couple of reviewers saying, in all the pantheon of classic TV, who are these people that are asking for Worzel Gummidge remakes? Who are
Yeah.
they? Where did this come from?
Well, the thing is, I don't understand how I have gone my life without hearing anything about this,
Living in England.
despite how large this was, apparently. And
um,
when I watch it, it makes sense. But when I hear about it, it doesn't.
this actually spawned a single. John
Oh my
Pertwee
God.
recorded a song for this called
Right.
Worzel's Song, and it actually managed to reach number 33 on the UK singles charts in 1980.
I would try to find part of that and put that in
And what
there.
made me laugh that this wasn't John Pertwee's first single.
Wasn't
No,
it?
he had recorded a song for Doctor Who in 1963,
Did he?
which never charted. It never got anywhere. They released it and it died.
Yes. Sounds about right.
Yeah. This also spawned a stage musical.
There we go. That's what I was
There we go.
expecting.
There was a musical adaptation called Worzel Gummidge the Musical,
Mm,
original, um,
yes.
written by the same guys that wrote the TV show, with the
Right.
same cast. So John
Interesting.
Pertwee, Una Stubbs. Um, it Where to go? Yeah, 1980 Christmas season, and
Hmm.
it came out to rave reviews, and then it went to London's West End from there, based on its success, and then it
Mm.
ran for 6 months.
Hmm.
Uh,
I saw someone the comments on Google about the show itself, and they were all highly rating it, especially the Christmas special, which I assume was that.
I don't get it. I don't.
No.
I've asked around a few people. All right, I'm going to run a poll on social media. I'm
Yes.
going to run two polls. Uh,
Hmm.
do you remember it? Do you like it? And
Yeah.
I'm curious. I want to see how people feel about it. This can't just be me who thinks it's horrific. The last piece of musical trivia about this one is that the cast, which was basically the cast of the TV show, recorded an album in 1981 at Abbey Road Studios, of all places. And it had 15 songs and 4 bonus tracks, and it was called the Worzel Gummidge Christmas Maxi Single. Does anyone remember this? Has anyone ever seen a copy? I had never heard of this. I would love to know if you out there, do you have a copy? Can you tell us where to listen to it?
Holy hell. Well,
uh, was there any educational value to this whatsoever?
yeah, leave abusive relationship.
She's not worth it.
Yeah. Worzel, man up, man.
I think this was 1979, 1980. I think this was a bit early for them to start putting heavy educational messages into kids' shows,
Perhaps.
and it shows. There's nothing to learn. I'm sure if you really dug, you might be able to find a moral to it, but
I mean, they could have gone so many directions with it because they were trying to create an act for a talent show.
Yep.
But in the end, it just ended up being a huge kerfuffle, and it made the audience laugh.
Yeah.
And they only won the joint act because they were the only submission to the joint act.
Even the description in the show, in that episode, says their efforts to sabotage one another make them the hit of the show. So
You told the whole
it's got
episode.
nothing to do with their talent.
No. Despite the fact Worzel was actually good at magic.
Surprisingly, yes.
Yes.
But
I think
in 2020, being able to pull a rabbit out of a hat is just not going to cut it anymore.
Sorry, Worzel.
Sorry, Worzel. So here we are on a Saturday morning. We've got our box of cereal. We've got our box of cereal. We've got a bowl of cereal. And on the back of the box is a trading card. And we are going to rate it based on those trading cards. So the first category, please rate out of 50 the theme tune.
Very British.
Do you even remember the theme tune? It's not like the Trapdoor or Terrorhawks. Don't you open that trapdoor? See, I remember it. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't pick it out.
That's Terrorhawks.
That's Terrorhawks. Yeah.
Worzel Gummidge is something like. It sounds like
the Addams Family, but yes, it is that kind of thing. It's very bouncy. It's very light, but it's just it's kind of there.
Yeah, not really memorable. They didn't try too hard. So I'm gonna rate it as a solid 4.
A 4. Wow,
yeah.
I thought I was being harsh.
Actually, I might go a little high because there's some content there, but it's just 5.
All right, I'll be a little bit more generous.
Just a bit.
It's there. It's short.
It's meh.
It's sweet. It's utterly unmemorable.
Yeah.
So I was going to give it a 10, being generous.
Yeah.
So that gives it a 15.
It really is being generous.
It is. I don't know what's come over me. Weirdness. How weird was this show? Now you could look at this. You could look at this from several different angles.
With the abusive relationship, with the blackface, with the pantomime style talent show. For someone who's not really been exposed to 70s British culture,
there you go.
It's incredibly weird. I'm gonna give it a 43.
A 43.
Yeah, Worzel was creepy.
Okay.
Yes. What about you?
It is weird, but it's weird looking back at it. I don't
surreal.
From the view from 2020, it's just, what am I watching? It's awful. But at the time, I don't think it would have been particularly weird.
No, but again, because I'm not so versed in 70s culture.
And I am from the 70s. So you gave it a 43, yeah? I'm going to give it a 20 because at the time, I don't think I would have noticed it. And it's weird, but I just find it creepy and annoying rather than weird. I don't go, whoa, what is that? It's just, what's wrong with his face? So I'm going to give it a 20, which gives it a 63.
Right.
Which is that's not bad. That's not bad, weird, is it? No. Education content. Did you learn anything apart from the aforementioned don't stay in abusive relationships, kids, she's a gold digger, you don't need her?
If they're trying to go with that, then 20. I did write oh, she's a gold digger as the second to last.
So you're going to give it a 20?
Yes.
So you learn something from it?
I learned not to be in abusive relationships, yes.
And
not to give your money to people who tell you how much it is.
I'm going to give it a 5.
5?
5. Apart from, we keep saying it, stay away from Aunt Sally. But I learned nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So overall impact, how awesome was it?
Does it have to be good or just impact in general?
You're the one giving the score.
I'm going to go with it being awesome, like you said, um,
He's thinking it over.
it's not. The thing is, it's not meh.
It's not
It's
meh.
just it's incredibly bad.
Yes, I agree
So I
with
feel
you.
like I should rate it a bit higher because of that.
It's got a high impact rating, but that impact is all bad.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go with a 25. Even.
25.
Yeah, because I don't know where to sit on that.
I'm never going to watch this again.
Yeah.
I'm never going to watch it again. If I do ever speak about it, it'll be just, oh my, do you remember this awful tripe? So it's getting a 10 because it's only getting a 10 because when I do talk about it in the future, I'm going to get wound up about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, I'm also taking into account the fact that anybody you talk to, they say, "Do you remember Worzel Gummidge?" They'll be like, "Oh yeah, did you like Worzel Gummidge?" Yeah, I loved it.
Who are you?
Yes.
So definitely our lowest scoring episode so far. If you had to give it a rating out of 10 overall, what would you give it?
I mean, whether or not I would watch it again and enjoy it, it would have to be a solid 3.
A 3.
Oh no, this is out of 10.
This is out of 10, and
A 2.
I'm gonna average yours and mine scores together. So you'd give it a 2, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're saying? So
Yep.
quite low. I think you're being generous.
I thought you might.
I'll never watch this again. But so I'm gonna give it a 1.
Oh, I thought you were going to go lower.
No. Well, I was tempted, but nostalgia and the fact that somebody out there likes it, I want this explained to me. 1.5. There you go.
Yeah.
That's the average. So easily the lowest rated episode what we've done.
It's weird that we don't like it, but it makes sense that we don't like it.
Yes, it's all for valid reasons.
Yeah.
So who in some television studio thought, do you know what we really need? I love, and we should remake Worzel Gummidge.
Mm-hmm.
Who greenlighted that?
Kids need scarecrows in their lives that come to life and creep them the hell out.
I'm telling you, remake this as maybe not a horror, maybe a creepy children's show. It would so work. The Crow Man, make Aunt Sally proper, even more evil.
Mm-hmm.
It would work.
As a twist, like there is a Doctor Who. It's a mini. It's not. It's a couple parter that was around in the David Tennant one, and it was around the time I wasn't really watching it, but I remember it was. There's this family. I think he loses his memory or something, and there's this family that wear scarecrow masks or something, and a scarecrow. I don't know if I think there's some form of aliens, but they wear scarecrow masks and go around murdering people, and something like that. Yeah, and I was like, well, as a weird twist of irony, maybe they were making a callback message to Worzel Gummidge.
Yeah, for something that is ostensibly so well loved, there's not a lot of pop culture penetration.
You
just don't hear about it today, unless they reboot it for Mackenzie Crook.
Even then, I didn't hear about it.
No. I remember it happening, but it was like, oh, they're doing that.
I just would have thought I would have heard something more, being British.
Well, it sucked. Go watch it. Put yourself through it because we did.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to see it to understand. There's loads of clips on YouTube, but that's one of the few full episodes.
Yep.
That was Worzel Gummidge. Next time, please join us. We are going to be watching DuckTales. We're going Disney.
We're doing DuckTales, yes.
I'm turning into a grumpy old man. All this podcast is going to do is just prove what a grumpy old man is, but I don't like... I'm going to get death threats for this. I don't like Disney.
That's fine.
I don't enjoy it.
I don't mind Disney. As I've gotten older in my age, there are Disney classics, especially
there are Disney classics.
Like Aladdin.
I've watched Bambi far more times than I should have done.
Mm-hmm. Like Mulan, Aladdin, Lilo and Stitch. They're still awesome movies, but
It's not. Do you know what? It's not even active dislike because there are some of those movies I do like.
yeah,
But anyway,
it's Disney as a whole is what you don't like, and I
yeah.
understand that.
But DuckTales, this was recommended by you, wasn't it?
I did say we should put this forward in
You're
the list.
inflicting Disney on me because I made you watch Worzel Gummidge.
Yes, this is entirely the reason for this one.
Excellent stuff.
And I don't think I'm going to hate DuckTales as much as you are. I didn't think.
I might enjoy it. You never know. I'm gonna go into this next one with an open mind.
Mhm. Whereas in Worzel Gummidge, I figured that I would dislike it because you hate it so
I already
much.
knew. I already
Yeah.
knew.
When it was one of the first shows you said we should do when we came up with this idea,
Yep.
and I will never forgive you for showing this thing.
And I guarantee you, when you're older and you have children, you're going to show it to them. Look at the
Oh
rubbish.
yeah,
Look at the rubbish that I used to watch.
full torture.
Has it right? Brilliant. If you have any questions for us, if you have any suggestions about shows you want to watch, if you have a comment on some of the absolute nonsense we spout, you can get in touch with us at Serial Viewing, C with a for C for cereal, as you eat out of the bowl, at gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us via Instagram and Twitter. Just have a look for Serial Viewing. I'm going to start posting up my show notes, the actual notes I make whilst I'm watching it, because there's some stuff I don't cover.
Yeah,
I might enjoy it. So I'm going to start posting those up
same.
on. Yeah, I'm going to start posting those up on the on our site. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Henry. He's Jevs, and we watched Worzel Gummidge, so you didn't have to.
Very much the case.
But go do it. If I had to suffer through that awful rubbish,
show it to your kids.
Show it to your kids.
It to your kids.
And all right, yeah, we're going to go in a minute. But if anyone out there has got very young children, let them watch it, and let us know how they reacted to it.
We do not. Serial Viewing does not take any responsibility for any psychological damages that afflict on your children and their future lives.
We refuse to be held responsible. Anyway, thank you very much, and we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And we are clear.
Nice. God, I feel like we literally just rambled and ranted about that entire episode.
We did. Right, audio stopped.
Yeah, same.
I never have
it
to
feels
watch
like
it again.
a huge weight lifted.
Oh, YouTube people, if you're watching this, just to let you know, when I'm dancing and you can hear the music, he can't hear anything. So he's just watching me dancing around.
In fact, he's above me when I see this. So.
Oh, see, that's why I was pointing him out. On my screen, we are
you're up there.
We are next to each other. So if you ever refer to me, just point to your right.
That way.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We can go Super Saiyan or whatever it
is. Yes, next week, DuckTales.
I hate Scrooge McDuck.
What's wrong with Scrooge McDuck? I guess he stands for everything you don't like in
because he's a capitalist pig or a duck.
Yeah, but he's a nice guy.
I don't know. I've never found Donald Duck funny. I'm just not interested.
I was more of a Looney Tunes fan. But I chose this specifically because I've never really watched it, and people of my generation talk about it so much.
I remember. I know I've watched it, but it was more along the lines of I watched something else, and then it's come on, and I really can't be bothered to get my ass off the sofa and change the channel. So I'm just going to lay here and suffer.
Well, when was it broadcast? Were you in America at this time?
DuckTales? No, DuckTales fairly certainly came out before I went to America. I moved to America in 1995, and I'm fairly certain it was out before then. We'll find out. I shall have all the information next time.
Indeed. But we'll get ready for some ducks not wearing any trousers.
And then we've got I'm not going to tell you what it is, but we've got a real treat after DuckTales.
Yes.
You know what it's called, but you have no idea what it is. And I'm really excited because I really freaking loved it. And I'm fairly certain it's going to hold up well, but we shall see. Well, thank you very much, YouTube people, for joining us and catching on to this little thing. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. No, that's the wrong one. All right.